Okay, so now to get the tutu rolling, first thing is I need something on the waist here. So I'm just going to go and grab this little tool here, and I can build something like this. Okay, and to make something that's kind of floating out here, I've got a little tool that I can go in and stretch this and move it around. Maybe I'll deselect. I can grab this edge, bring it this way, grab this one. Okay, great. And then I can go here and select this piece. And this one's looking pretty good right here. Okay, great. Right click, and I'm going to copy it, and right click, paste it. Okay, and I'll just paste it something like that. And then I can take this piece, and we'll move it to the back. And I've got to rotate it around. Whoop. Okay, hopefully I've got that. And I'll just kind of move this down. I am not an expert at Marvelous Designer. Okay, so when I'm moving stuff around, I feel a little bit clunky. Okay, but I don't think that you need to know everything about this tool to make it work. Okay, rotate it around, everything's good. And then I'm just going to sew it. So we've got this little sewing machine button right there. And I'll look for this little notch right here. And I think it's probably going to go across here. And I got to get the notch on the top, not on the bottom, and it'll twist it around. Okay, and then I'm going to grab this one. Looks like I did it right. That one. Go flipping over to this one. Yay! And I'm just going to hit the space bar. Whoop! And there. Now I've got a little kind of a belt. It's a little bit high, so I can just grab it and pull it down. Hopefully I don't flip it around. Remember, it gets too... It's nice to start off a little bit baggy. I kind of went a little bit tight right away. But that's okay. I'm just trying to go fast. And I can kind of figure out where I want the tutu waist to be. Feels like it's a bit high, so I'm going to bring this down. Love games. And there. I'm going to say that's wonderful. Let's grab these two pieces, and I'm just going to go here to Edit, Context Menus, 3D Garment, and I'm going to freeze these two pieces so they're going to be stuck like that. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is let's go and get another piece of material here. I'm just going to go and get a nice big round one. Okay, and I'm kind of just roughly basing this off of where the thumbs are. Actually, I might want to make this one a little bit bigger, because the bigger it is, the better it's going to kind of look, I suspect. The better it's going to bunch up is what I'm actually getting at. Okay, well, so let's do something like that. So it's centered. Okay. And maybe not centered here, but I'll come back to that in a second. And let's go over here, and I'm going to grab this tool, and I can come in and draw another circle. Okay, and I'm going to switch back to this one. I can move this little circle around, trying to center it, and then I can kind of stretch it out here. There's going to be kind of a frill on the end. This is what I'm aiming for right here. Okay, so there I've kind of got a little section around the outside. Then I can take this and right click, and I can go to, what am I looking for? Cut. So I'm going to cut that. So it cuts out a little piece here. Then I can select this piece, and I'll make it a little bit smaller. Not too much, just a little bit. Great. And then I'm going to go and make another one of these things. So I'm going to grab the circle up here, and we'll take this, and I'll move this into place, move it over here. Okay. Actually, I wonder if I do it like this. That's a little bit easier. Actually, what am I doing? I'm smoking crack again. Think about it. Make this smaller. Not too small. And I'll just move this a little bit. That should be good. Maybe a little bit. Teensy bit smaller. There, great. And then I can right click and I can go convert to whole. Boop. There, so I got my pieces that I need. Okay, and it might be a good idea to select this piece and give it a quick rotation. So let's rotate this one. Okay, great. And I'll select this piece over here. And I'll rotate this one as well. I'm just going to select them both. Oh, god damn it. Shift, double click. Okay, whatever, I'll move them. Oh, you bastard! Move them one at a time. I thought I could be tricky. There's got to be a way to move these both at the same time. But anyway, whatever, I'll move these up here. Maybe a little bit over this way. I thought if I held down shift, and then I got the tool, and I guess it just nudges it around. Okay, good enough. Okay, just select this one. Okay, and suddenly the tool's working and showing up what I wanted it to do. Okay, so actually, you know what? I could probably, if I grab these both, let's pull them down a wee bit, just so that thumbs don't collide immediately. Okay, great. Now I want to sew these things together. There's one here that you saw me just use on these pieces up in here. I'm going to use the one over here right beside it so I can get more pieces at once. So I'll do something like this one here is in front. I click and I drag across and I click again. Then I go down here, click, and I drag across over to here, click. Now those are going to sew together. Wonderful. And so this back piece here is inverted. So if I start here and I click across to here, click, and then I go down here, and I think if I go zippity-doo around here, it looks like it might invert. Did I do it right? I did. Okay, good. I don't have to undo. Okay, and then I'm going to do this one from here all the way over to here. Click. And then I'll go from here all the way over to here. Click. And it sews those ones together. Wonderful. And I'm going to click this one all the way over to here. Click. Take this one. Click all the way over to here. Click. Okay, wonderful. And now we just got to test it all out. What happens when I tap the spacebar? There's a button right up here. You can hit it, but I'm just going to tap the spacebar and whoop. Whoa. Oh, that's completely evil. I had to, you know, potentially I might have to go over here into the fabric. Where am I? Fabric. And when you're in the fabric, you get the property editor here, and you can play around with some of these different types of materials. Okay, and physical property, I think I've put on polyester mesh, and I was playing around with it, and I played with some of these settings in here and dragged them around until I got something kind of interesting. And you can kind of pull some of these pieces around and get a nice simulation that you want. Okay, and okay, so that's not looking too bad. If I want another piece like this, so I had two pieces of tutu on top of each other, if I took this piece and I went and I copied them, and then I went and I right-clicked and I pasted them, let's paste them right over here. Dook. There's probably some other little tricks I could do with this. Okay, and that tutu's sitting over here now. Okay. Just gonna see if I can pull this over here. I might want to, you know what, go to the garment here. I'm just gonna reset the 3D arrangement. And of course, when I did that, I lost exactly what I was trying to hold, but whatever. Let's do this. And we'll pull this up. And let's pull this over here. I don't know if this is going to totally work. This is... we'll find out in a second. So there I got this. And let's go back and sew some of these pieces. So I'm going to go in here, and I don't believe these... Oh, those are sewn already. It's these pieces that aren't sewn. This is kind of wonderful. Nice, happy little accident. And so if I grab this one, and I click and I drag to here, then I click, and then I grab this one and I click and I drag over to here, click. Okay, and then I'm going to try this one, click, and drag over to here, click. And then this one starts the opposite way, so I gotta go like this. Click. Yay! Okay, and I tap the space bar. And I do have some issues here. I'll just pull those out really quick. Yeah, I could have been smarter about this. But they're on top of each other. And I'll just kind of probably let the simulation kind of relax a little bit. Okay, but I have my little tutu. Okay, and I just gotta pause. Okay, back. Had to go tend to my barbecued chicken. Let's see. So, again, I can sit here and fuss and play a little bit and make sure everything's not colliding too badly. It doesn't look too bad. I also might want to consider coming in here and grabbing these pieces. If I get my little selector here, so I grab this, 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 this. Somehow I deselected that piece. Okay, great, I've got them all. If I'm on the property editor, I can go and increase the amount of vertices and geometry around these. So I'm going to go and hit like 5. This might give it a little burp. Uh-oh. Please don't crash. Don't crash, I like this thing. Okay, and seems to be good. Just going to tap the spacebar and let the simulation play for a moment. See if I get a slightly different result. And yeah, so I am getting a slightly different result. I might get a little bit more detail on here. And one more thing. See how this goes. Okay, see it starts to get kind of heavy. I just go up and click this button. That'll stop the simulation. The same thing as tapping spacebar. And actually maybe I will just play for a moment. My time is 11 minutes. Okay, so got this tool on. We're on the simulation. There, I can just pull this down. Just don't like the look of that. Probably should have left it, or I should have. Yeah, anyway, I'll stop fussing. But the other thing I've got to do is down here under miscellaneous mesh type, I got to switch from triangle. What did you do, you fool? Turn off the simulation. Actually, I wonder if I hit undo, will it go back to there? Let's just leave it there. Okay, so I'm just going to go over here to triangle and change to quad. Okay, and this is going to take a second for it to think. If I go up into display, the hotkey is Alt-5. Alt-5 takes me so I can see my mesh, and Alt-3 takes me back again. But it's converting. I can... No, that's not... That's my recording dimensions. I thought there was a little thinking line or something like that. I guess this might be a lot of polys. I just might... Tempted to pause right now. Yeah, I'm going to pause. Okay, so it just took a couple of minutes to get out of whatever it was in, and it was thinking. Got this nice little tutu. Now, I want to take this out, so I'm going to grab my pieces. Holding down Shift to select these pieces. Okay, great. And I can take those and go here to File, Export, OBJ. And I've already kind of got something I was horsing around with in here, but I'm going to just redo it. So I'm going to take these as Tutu high. Yes, replace it. So that's been exported out. And it's thinking. La la la. Ah. Just trying to figure out why it's taking so long. Okay, I'm going to pause again. Okay, and it finished doing its thinking, and okay. So I've exported that out in this shape. Then I'm also going to go and export it out in this shape. Whoop. Here's all these pieces. I suppose I could take these two pieces here and unfreeze them as well. So if I go to 3D Garment, Reset, it doesn't take that out, so I gotta go into Edit, Context Menu, 3D Garment, and I have this on a freeze, so I gotta unfreeze it, and then I'll try it again, and I'll go to there. So I got all these pieces, and I can take those. I'll just double check when I hit this. There, that's what I was looking for. And now I'm gonna go File, Export, OBJ, and we're going to take this out as the Tutu flat. Yes! And yeah, I keep going through these periodic burps with this, so it just stops. I guess it's doing some kind of autosave or something like that. But anyway, there. So now I've got this working, and let's go back over here. And I've got my character all measured out and everything in Maya. And I want to bring these pieces in, so I'm going to go File, Import. And remember, when you're importing OBJs, you want to make sure that single object is on. So I'm going to go in and import, and marvelous. And we're going to look for the Tutu first, double check and make sure it's all working. There it is. Woohoo! Look at those polys. Okay, lots of polys. Oh, and I guess when it exported out... Oh, damn it. When I exported out, somehow I must have selected the avatar as well. That's why it went slow. Okay, so I made a mistake when I was coming out of Marvelous. Just hold on a second. So if I take this and I go undo, 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 undo. So we're back at this. Okay, great. And if I take those and I go File, Export, Selected OBJ. Idiot! Okay, let's try it again. So I'm going to export that out as the high res. Okay, and yeah, because this is going to screw up my whole thing. Then I'm going to go into the Edit, Context Menu, 3D Garment, and I'll make sure that... actually, it's just two pieces that are frozen. This one and this one. So I'm going to just select those, Edit, Garment, and Unfreeze. Okay, and then I can grab my other pieces, boop, boop, there, and I can hit that so they go to that arrangement again, and I'll do the File, Export, Export Selected, Flat, Save, Done. Okay, okay, so let's go back to Maya again, and I'm just going to get rid of this thing. And File, Import, Tutu, high res. Takes a moment. There it is. Everything's quads. Okay, good. And I'm also going to File, Import the flat one. Okay, so now they're both in here. Oh, I guess I didn't take these pieces and quadrangulate them, so whatever. We're just going to have to pretend I did, because I don't feel like fixing it at this point. So if I select this and I select that piece and I go into Deform, I can make a blend shape. Okay, and with that blend shape, just grab this second one here. I'm just going to pull this over this way a little bit. You'll see that when I go over to the blend shape, I can go in and... oops, crap. Let's try that again. Blend shape. And I'm just going to middle click. And whoop. Oh, it looks like I selected them backwards. Let's go and undo this. Okay, last object selected is the target. So... if I go in and do this the other way, so I take these pieces, take this, then this, and I make my blend shape. Deform, blend shape. And so now when I take this, I can make this thing go to this shape here. Okay, great. So then what I can do, let's just take this whole unit and I'm going to move it over. I got to figure out how to make better topology on here. Some of these are pretty straightforward. You could probably draw a quad and then split it a bunch of times and everything like that. But what I was thinking for these pieces here is if I go in here and I grab an edge, whoop, there, and I go to Modify, Convert, Polygon Edges to Curve. Okay, so that's going to make a curve in a second here. It's taking every one of these things. This is a big calculation for it, I suspect. Watch me crash! Yeah, it's thinking. Nothing's moving. Okay, I'm going to go and pause again. Okay, so I just went in and I did it to this piece up here too while I pause because there's... so now there's two curves. Okay, and if I just go center pivot just to prove it, there's two curves. And now, what I'm going to do, let's go and put those back. I'm going to rebuild the curves because there's probably too many points on them. So if I go to curves, I can go in here to rebuild curve. This is the Nurbs area of life here. And we can go up to 100, 0 to number of spans. I might even just see, I'm going to say 150. Okay, because then that makes it roughly every quarter is, should I do 160? I'm going to do 160 just because I'm being fussy. And I'll hit apply. So it's just rebuilt the curve, so it's got now 160 spans on it. If you go into the attribute editor, you can see it's got 160 spans. You can add more if you wanted to, less, whatever. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to surfaces, and there's a thing here called Loft. Okay, and with Loft, right now it's set up for Nurbs. I'm going to switch to polygons, and I'm going to go here, instead of triangles, I'm going to go to quads, and tessellation method, general. And I'm going to choose the third option here under U-type and the third option under V-type. Okay, wonderful. And I should leave everything else alone and I'll just hit Loft. And now that's made me a piece of mesh. And here I'm just going to center me pivot so you can see what the hell I've got. Okay, now there's nice little lines going across here for everything. Okay, maybe, you know what, that, if I go to Nurbs Tessellate here on the side, I can find it and I can see the U number is set up to 1 to 1, so I'm just going to change that to, or actually I'm going to change, it was 3 to 1, so I changed it to 1. And the V number, instead of 3, let's go and add this in here so we get some nice squares. Okay. There, and I can add more if I wanted to. But we've just converted that into geometry. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to delete the history so it no longer has any connection to the curves. I'm just going to move this back, 0. And so basically I'm going to just quickly retopologize this piece. If I grab this thing and this one, and I go here to deform, and I create a wrap. Remember that there's 3 places where it says wrap. There's wrap here, there's another wrap here under edit, and there's shrink wrap, of course. And is there any other one? I thought there was a third one. Maybe I'm just crazy, but we're going for this one right here. Bloop. And let's just take a look and see what... Oh, it's thinking. I gotta stop. Stop touching things. Don't touch anything. Oh, is this gonna take a lot of thinking? I can see I kept the rebuild curve and the history and stuff. Okay. Anyway, we've got this piece selected here. I'm just gonna show you that if I were to find the blend shape, so we just go in here to animation editor, shape editor. Okay, there's that blend shape living there, so I can put it up here. And if I go and I do this, whoop. Okay, now remember I moved this thing, so this piece here, I have to go and grab this piece and put that here, 0. Okay, and then but anyway, that's moving that piece of geometry here around, and let's just take a look and see what it looks like. I'm just going to hit if, and I'm going to hit 3. And I'll just deselect it, and I'm going to hide my wireframe. And there I've got some nice modeled in wrinkles from Marvelous Designer, my nice little piece. I'm still going to do more work to this, but that's the basic idea. And I can take that over to ZBrush and do some more work on it. My UV's been laid out in a nice way for me too. And that's the end of my video tutorial. Later on you'll see I'll work this out later on my own. And I'll stop right here.